We are just 11 days away from Wrestle Grand Slam, May 15th in Yokohama Stadium and May 29th inside the Tokyo Dome, where we will be giving you live in English in-person coverage on the King of Sports Streaming, njpwworld.com. I'm Chris Charlton, along with Kevin Kelly in his secret, undisclosed location where he is quarantining. Yeah, so good you're doing well. And, I think today, as we sit down and talk, this is just Wrestle Dontaku Day 2 is just a few hours away. We've come off of Day 1, and English coverage, which you recorded, is coming up either very, very shortly on njpwworld.com, or it's already there. Now, I know a lot of fans have already seen that event. They couldn't wait. They had to see it once in Japanese. They'll probably watch it again in English afterwards. But perhaps some people haven't seen it yet. So if you haven't seen Wrestling Dontaku Day 1, we might get into spoiler territory, so please look away now. First of all, let's sort of go a little bit out of order and start with the ladder match.
Sure.
Taichi and Tama Tonga, something that certainly New Japan fans aren't very familiar with. A ladder match. It was the first one in 5 years, only the second one in history. And so, yeah, I think any fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling or pro wrestling in general hadn't seen a ladder match quite like this. It was a very different kind of feel, perhaps, to a lot of ladder matches that regular fans might have expected.
It was a very aggressive start by both men. You could feel how much personal animosity there is between them, and there was no holding back. There was calculations and strategy, especially by Tama Tonga. Doki, of course, one of the MVPs, I guess you could say, because hey, all's good in a ladder match. And obviously everybody did wind up getting involved. But at the end of the day, this is one of those matches that both men will say, never again. Because I guarantee you that both are extremely sore. Both are lucky to have avoided major injury. Ladder matches are career shorteners. So now that this issue is settled, I was enthralled, though, at the end. And Chris, maybe you can help explain it. This would have been so perfect for you and me to be together live last night. Unfortunately, we couldn't be because of this quarantining I'm having to do. But explain to the fans the almost ceremony at the end when Taichi finally did get possession of the Iron Finger glove, and then speaking out and saying something on the microphone in Japanese and calling for Iska's music to play.
Yeah, so I mean, this all comes back from the Iron Finger being the last memory, the last aspect of Takashi Iizuka that he left behind. And I think it seems bizarre for me to say that a ladder match, a match of this nature, could be romantic, but in a literary sense, it kind of was. In the end, of course, Taichi reclaims that Iron Finger. Now it's being sealed away. And this was very much, when Iizuka retired, he stormed off through the crowd, never to be seen again. Everybody was looking at each other going, we didn't get the 10-bell salute for Takashi Iizuka when he retired. And this, in a sense, was the final retirement, the laying to rest of Takashi Iizuka. So a very poetic nature to that match. I thought it was, even the finish of the match was poetic. I said on Twitter, 8 years ago to the day, Bullet Club started with a gun stun from Carl Anderson to Hiroshi Tanahashi, and here sort of Tama Tonga tried to give Taichi that gun stun off the ladder, and it backfired right back into his face.
And one of the great things about technology today is that I saw your tweet, I quoted it, I brought it up on the air because it was such a part of the story of the history of Wrestling Dontaku and Bullet Club and the way that match came to an end. Tama really wanted the Iron Finger glove. He didn't want to just take it away from Taichi. I think it does have some sort of, we've hinted at it, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but legitimately, it almost does seem to have like a mystical power to it. And Tama was certainly under the spell of that. But now it's being put in a vault somewhere, poured in concrete somewhere, pushed off, desert island, King Kong style, never to be seen again.
Yeah, and I'm sure Taichi and Tama, you said they don't want to have another ladder match again. I dare say Doki doesn't want to have another ladder
Good
match
God Almighty.
again after what happened to him last night. So I think he'd be very thankful for that being sealed away. And they want the Never six-man titles as well. So I mean, there's lots of future championship matches to talk about, I'm sure, in the coming days and weeks. But then you get onto another Never championship match, and that was in the main event, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White, right about the 40-minute mark for this match. So it's certainly very different style. We had always talked about Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to bring a different style to the Never Openweight Championship than what we've been used to in the past with Shingo Takagi, with Hiroki Goto, Ishii, all the way back to Masato Tanaka. And this was very much that. It was a very classical bout. It was an excellent, excellent match. But in the end, Jay White tapped. Gator was there. The referee didn't see it. And a Blade Runner sealed it.
All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Jay White did tap out. Gato was distracting the referee, and the referee did not see it. Did Jay White tap out because he knew Gato was there, and he was hoping to distract Tanahashi? If you notice, he was tapping on the mat. Tanahashi didn't let go. Then he started tapping Tama on the leg. I think Jay White was trying to get Tana off the hold and to use the distraction to do that. But he tapped out. There is no other way to say it. Liger was very clear on that on commentary, and he took great exception to the fact that Gato's involvement, I think, took away from the win as far as Liger was concerned. And Liger's opinion, of course, is, we hold that in reverence. But nevertheless, Jay White once again proved he owns Tanahashi. There's no other way to say it. And Tana cannot beat Jay White. And now the future of the Never Openweight title will be Switchblades. We'll see what direction that title goes, and not shy about laying out a challenge for his first title defense, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, he was really talking smack about the entire wrestling world after that main event, if you're up with following everything on the internet, but certainly backstage more concrete in saying that he wants to get revenge against David Finlay after being knocked out of the New Japan Cup. And that was such a phenomenal flip for David Finlay in a year. You talk about Tangaloa being a tag team expert that came into his own last night as a singles wrestler. David Finlay, certainly the same case, and it looks like we're going to have Finlay versus Jay White at some point very, very soon, which I can't wait to see.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that, as Jay White said, they don't listen to me. They don't do what I want. It doesn't mean that just because he's challenged David Finlay, he's going to get to defend the Never Openweight title now against David Finlay. New Japan matchmakers might have another idea in mind, and they might be looking for perhaps Finjuice to wrestle whomever wins the tag team titles, whenever that might be. Again, we have Wrestle Grand Slam 1 and 2. We have the 15th to 29th. Then we also have Dominion. So we can't put that too far out. We're previewing Wrestle Grand Slam, but we also got to talk about what's to come in the near future as well. So everybody kind of understands the landscape. We're breaking news, and I'm breaking the dishware over here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many moving parts as we get going here, and we'll have more concrete announcements with Wrestle Grand Slam, certainly in Yokohama Stadium, and a lot for the Tokyo Dome as well, by the end of this week. But it's a very fluid scenario, and that fluidity will continue into Wrestling Dontaku Day 2, which is coming up in just a few moments on NJPWworld.com. Very, very quickly before we get out here, the main event, Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Again, live with Japanese coverage, and then very, very shortly, as soon as we can do it, English coverage will be up on NJPWworld.com. So that's it for today. We will be back with you tomorrow to kind of have a little discussion over Dontaku Day 2 and maybe a little look ahead.
All right, have a good day, Chris. Enjoy Day 2 of Wrestling Dontaku, everybody. English commentary will be up in short order, and we'll be back tomorrow for more of this.
We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, go kigenyo. Sayonara.